has come for the Wonderland to ride. Together, we shall feed the flame.
Hello there, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Feed the Flames podcast. Today we're joined by the one and only Marcus from ThrillRiders. How are you doing, Marcus?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very good, thanks. Right, let's just jump straight into this then. You recently-ish launched the Marcus Dilo Creative, that's right?
Yep, that's right, yep.
Yep. Could you tell us about, what you do with that? And
Yeah.
well, yeah.
So, it's basically my just content creation company. So, it's basically specializes in 3 main things, which is just photo, video, and drone. And that's basically it. It's as simple as that, really. We specialize in the sort of obviously the theme park stuff, which gets shared a lot on ThrillRiders as well. But
Yeah.
there's also a lot of stuff in the construction and architecture industry, things like that. So it's basically just capturing content for social media pages and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. If you are, I don't know if you're actually allowed to say this, but how many different companies have you worked with under Marcus Dilo Creative?
Well, we're still in my first year of the company, so I'm even amazed to have worked with as many people as I have in that sort of short period of time. Really, I don't know a number off the top of my head, but I mean, obviously, I'm proud to have done stuff with obviously like Paultons and
Yeah, you've done a
Greater
lot with
Manor.
partners this year.
Yeah, Paulton's been fantastic because obviously they've had Tornado Springs, and that has obviously been a pretty big deal. So it's been amazing to capture that, to capture all the new stuff. Really, there's new stuff at Chessington with Croc Drop, which was amazing to capture, and even at Drayton Manor recently with the Rapids ride, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's just no, you're good. It's just all these new things. Do you know what I mean? It's it's cool to just capture them and be among the first to get it on camera. Really.
Yeah, that sounds like such a fun job. I'd love to do that one day.
Yeah, I mean,
Righty. Do you ever get overwhelmed with the amount of stuff? Well, not do you know what I mean? Do you ever get overwhelmed with the amount of work that you're having to do?
It's I mean, when it came in initially, it was definitely like a shock because especially when both Tornado Springs and Croc Drop came in at very similar times. That was, it was quite scary because it really is just me. So it's sort of like a can I do this type thing? Not like in a technical sense. But
can I physically do it?
Yeah, it's just
Does
one of
that
those
make
things where it's
sense?
yeah, it's intense. It's whoa, this is a big deal. But yeah, no, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just on the day actually capturing it, it's just amazing, and you just sort of go with the flow really and get some really, really cool content. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what they've made this year, all these different theme parks, just the actual creation of it is just stunning. Things like
Yeah.
the Croc Drop crocodile building and stuff. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, well, it's gonna be it's not going to be difficult for me to make this look good because it just does look good. You just stand there and look at it and you think this looks amazing. So from a creative side, yeah, I capture it on the camera and whatnot, but half the job has been done amazingly by these theme parks because they've built these incredible new areas this year. And Tornado Springs is just like a movie set. It's just stunning.
Oh
So
wow, I haven't had the chance to go there yet. I'm looking to go
oh,
in a few weeks time, but
you have to go down and do it. It's so good, so good.
yeah, I've seen like a bunch of your pictures of them. Like, great job again. Uh,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, yes, 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 yes. How many times have I just said yes? 10. Um, are you allowed to say like what the process is of going there and taking these photos and videos, like when you're working with the parks?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's basically it's just a lot of the time it is scoping it out on the day, really. Sometimes there is a brief, things that they might want captured, things like signage and bits and
Mm,
bobs like that. Um, but the majority of the creative aspect of it is done on the day, just having a roam around the ride or the area, um, and just scoping out the best shots on the fly, really. Because we just send the rides around over and over again.
yeah.
And yeah, it's not too there's not too much like especially from the photography side. From a video aspect, there's a lot more planning
Yeah.
because there's a whole story to tell effectively in a video. But in the photo aspect, it's just capturing stills. So it's just roaming around on the day and seeing what looks best and then capturing those shots.
Mm, yeah. Can I ask, with your rides, not sorry, not with your rides, with your ride photos and videos, is there like specific people that will go on the ride, or will it just be random members of the public for you to take videos and photos of?
Yeah, so it's honestly a mix of both. We've done shoots where we've brought people in, and we've done shoots with the public as well. It's but either is fine. The mainly bringing people in is more to do with having control over what we capture. So some shoots I've done, uh, we would have brought people in to make sure that everyone's wearing a mask or things like those, and we want to get the best looking reaction from the
Yeah.
riders and things like that. Um, but we're allowed to capture members of the public in the parks. It's part of the terms of service of entering most of these theme parks is that you agree to be captured by the park for promotional purposes and stuff. So
Mm,
from a that side of things, but I mean, with the public, if someone asks if not to be photographed, we always respect that.
yeah.
There's no if people really don't want to be on camera, then they won't be on camera. There's no world where we force people. But yeah, the main thing it comes down to is how we want the riders to look. So those reactions, and if there's any other technical parts, like if we want them all to hold on, or if we want everyone with their arms up, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's wow. I didn't really ever realize that it was like that. I always thought that it would just. I didn't think that. What am I trying to say? I'm so sorry. I didn't think that it would be so into detail to just take these, like especially just with the people that you're choosing, like to hire a whole set of people to ensure they're in a mask is that's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing whatsoever, but it's crazy that
Yeah.
happens.
It. No. Yeah. You're right. I mean, not not too long ago, I arranged a large group of people of roughly about 30 people, just so that we could make sure that everyone is holding on to the handlebars.
Mm,
That that's all. That was the only technicality. We needed people to hold on to the bars
Wow.
So rather than chancing that with the public and waiting over and over until we get the shot, because we're effectively just chancing it, I brought in a large group of people and said, hold on to the bars, and we got our shots. So it all comes down to like if we need that control over the image and specific things like that.
Yeah.
And of course, if it's if it's photographing a ride that hasn't opened yet, prior to the theme park being open for its season, obviously there's no public in there, so we need to bring people in. But
Yeah.
yeah,
When it comes to bringing people in, do you decide who goes in or does the park?
it depends really. I've arranged for people to come in, and then other times the park is arranged. It's sort of just a mix, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. Thanks for sharing all of that with us. Moving on. You were well, not so recently anymore, but you were nominated for Instagram of the Year in the UK Theme Park Awards. Did you know that you'd been nominated before it was actually announced to the public?
I had no idea I was nominated until it was released online, and that is just mind blowing to me. It still blows my mind. Even the because last year obviously the clamshells blew my mind entirely. I didn't expect that entirely. So it's just amazing, honestly. And I think the winner of that gets announced. The winners are announced tonight.
Yeah,
So,
tonight at 8 p.m.
yeah, so you can imagine that I am going to be watching that if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. But there's some amazing Instagram accounts nominated in that. Honestly, some I literally couldn't have picked a better list of accounts. So
Because you're on it. What can I say?
No, no, no.
I'm joking.
Definitely, definitely not about myself.
I'm
No,
joking.
no, no, there's some great people on there, and whoever takes that Instagram award thoroughly deserves it, honestly. So yeah, it'll be super cool to see. But not only that, but like all the other categories. There's some really interesting categories there. So and to see all the parks get around it as well will be really interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the parks. I forgot there's actually parks in the UK Theme Park Awards.
Yeah,
That's gonna
yeah,
make me
that's
sound crazy. Oh yeah, I've literally wrote here the winners are literally being announced tonight. But do you have any idea how many votes you've received?
no,
I'm
not
guessing
not
not.
at all.
Ah.
Not the foggiest, but yeah, even if no one voted for me, to be nominated for it is such an honor. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, I that to me is a win in itself. I can't believe I'd even get that. To be fair, so
Oh well, best of luck to you for that then.
thank you very
Right,
much.
you're welcome. It was literally over 2 months ago, but can we talk about some of the photography you did for Tidal Day?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, great. So from the beginning, did you plan to go along, or was it just like a last minute decision?
Um, I so when Dan and Ellie announced it, I knew that I would want to go along just to support them because Dan's a really good friend, and I thought it'd just be really funny to watch them get freezing cold. So one thing I didn't anticipate was that I would be going on Tidal Wave myself more than once. I
Oh, it's
knew
more
I
than
might.
once.
Yeah, yeah. I said I'll go on for one ride, and then it ended up being three rides. So there you go. But yeah, it was a great day. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
didn't anticipate. I mean, it was a shame because it ended up being quite busy. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
I had Dan on a few days ago, and he said that he was like quite disappointed with the fact that he only got 15 rides done. Well, the fact that everyone only got 15 rides done. But yeah, he said some people with a ride access pass came over and sort of helped out.
Oh, they were the heroes. They were absolute heroes. Yeah, it wouldn't have been. I mean, the number would have been significantly lower without their help. So yeah, that definitely helped out. But yeah, I mean, it made for some brilliant photos of them looking drenched.
Yeah, actually, like moving on to your photos now, because I've just been asking the random questions. Moving on to the photos with Tidal Day, were there any that you had to like delete because of members of like the public just doing anything, sticking the middle finger up, just just the most random things? Or have you had that at all before?
Not really anything like that would come across abusive, really. No. There was nothing like that on Tidal Wave especially, but no, the weirdest things I captured are sort of like where people. There was a photo I captured in America where there was this kid that somehow got his head stuck outside the restraint. I don't know how that's even possible. Like if you imagine like an over the shoulder restraint, somehow he had got his head sort of on the outside of it.
What?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know how, but
Did you take a picture?
Yeah. I've got the photo of it. I'll drop it over to you. But it's so bizarre. That's probably the weirdest thing I've ever captured in a theme park photo. But yeah, other than that, when I'm in the theme parks, from like a people like doing anything for the camera or anything like that, doesn't normally happen. And if people are walking past and see the camera, because it's not a small piece of kit, so people question it and shout things. Well, occasionally would like make a comment or something, but it's not really too common,
Yeah.
And even if it is, it's just like it's people just being silly, really.
Yeah.
But,
So quite well then. Not quite well. What am I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Sorry. Right.
you're right.
Quite. The public are. Do you know what? I'm just gonna move on. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Your YouTube channel. You've been doing some little like park vibes in 90 seconds, Black Mirror in 60 seconds, etc. Oh, there was answering your questions in Q&A too. But how much time would it take to make that 1.5 minute long, 90-second video of the park vibes?
Yeah, I mean that takes it takes more than 60 seconds. It's not so much the visual side of it, it's all the sound effects that go behind the video. Because I basically strip out all the audio and make my own audio for the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they're not as obviously the YouTube channel doesn't have any sort of upload schedule because
yeah, I can see that. I'm on the page now.
yeah, it's at the moment it's just sort of like a upload when I've made a thing, but I am potentially there might potentially be some stuff in the future. I'm not really too sure yet, but there could be something cool coming to the channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the 60 seconds. Actually, there's definitely something cool coming over Halloween, which will be very, very cool because from what's it called? Tully's Oktoberfest. there'll be some cool sort of video coming from there, which would be very exciting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the YouTube channel. It's not as frequently uploading as my Instagram. I wish it could be, but it's not, unfortunately. But the 60-second videos, yeah, I mean, the 60-second. I initially started thinking of the 60-second thing because it stemmed from the fact that Instagram is 60-second videos, or like IGTV videos
Yeah.
are a minimum of 60 seconds. So I thought if I made little films that were this in 60 seconds, I could put it on IGTV. But I then moved it from there. I just thought it would be better in widescreen rather than IGTV. So I put it onto YouTube. And then yeah, it sort of stemmed this little genre of something in so many seconds. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I just
Yeah.
like thinking of something that's a little bit quirky or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's different. You don't really see anything like that. Like, well, you do, but not inside of the theme park industry. Is that the right word?
Yeah, like in the community type thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You've got a closed Alton Towers cinematic on there. Were you invited by the park to do that, or could you tell us like a little bit about the process of that?
No, so that one, the title sounds more exciting than the actual thing. That was filmed when Alton Towers. So in last year when we were just coming out of the first lockdown, and Alton Towers just opened their gardens with no rides.
Ah,
So effectively, the theme park was closed, but the gardens were open. So I thought this might be a quirky title. So I made that. I made
wow.
Yeah. So I made that little video of Alton Towers, and yeah, that's basically the story behind that. I wish I was invited though. That would be pretty cool.
Honestly, I've seen the video, and even still, I thought that you were. Is that just me being stupid? I mean,
Well, to be fair, no, it isn't, because it was, unless like unless like I've just told you there, unless you were told like that because that gardens thing was a very strange time. That would that was, I mean, I don't think that's ever happened before, where you could go into Alton Towers and basically the park be closed. So in the way it looks and comes across, it does look like I was in the park when it was closed, but
yeah.
no, it's not that cool, unfortunately.
Well, do you know what though? You still did do a great job, and like if it fooled me, which, well, it's not hard to do because it's me, but it probably, it worked, and it's, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Help me. Okay. Okay.
That's all good.
Right, now for those of you that follow Marcus at ThrillRiders and at Marcus Dilo Creative on Instagram, or even if you have seen any of his posts, you can see that he has some like really good photos. What did I say it like that? On there. Now, Marcus, do you mind if I ask you some questions about your photography?
Yeah, of course.
Well, not well. I've
Absolutely.
been doing it anyway. I don't know. Do you know what? Okay, great. So first of all, when and why did you start photography?
So the photography actually stemmed off the back of my video work. All of the photography side of what I do is self-taught. I was full blown video at one point, and then after, so in 2017, me and my girlfriend traveled to Phantasialand, and that sort of stemmed the sort of first bit of traveling abroad to these amazing theme parks. And then, so in early, like right at the beginning of 2018, I started the Instagram account thinking that it would be just a cool platform to just share something that I'm passionate about with like-minded people. Not even to be a photography page, just as a place where I could just put content. And then about a year later, is when I probably, so in the start of 2019, I went to Alton Towers right at the start of the season, like right at the very beginning of the season. I think it was opening day actually. I went to Alton Towers on my own, and that was a big deal because I'd never been to a theme park by myself. It was a very different experience, but I just went just to focus on capturing photos of the rides,
Yeah.
and basically build up this big bank of images to share over like it, because obviously daily posting, I need uh, a lot of images backed up in order to be ready to share on a daily basis. But so yeah, I went to the park and just captured loads and loads and loads of photos, and yeah, and then that sort of stemmed the sort of the Thrill Riders sort of image style that you see now, because it was very much using the equipment that I still use now. And yeah, it basically was like going to a park by myself and capturing those photos meant for much, I guess, higher quality in image, because I wasn't focusing on running to ride and fitting it in time wise. I was uh, waiting for these specific shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that for Towers and for Fort Park, and then yeah, just once I had like a big library of images I could share, I shared them daily, and they Thrill Riders just started to get attention because these pictures were coming up on like a frequent basis, and that's definitely what helped. I mean, it might, like, the main advice I'd say is to basically do that. Just make sure you have like a library like that, and then with content that you could share on a day by day basis, and then the frequency of uploads is really what gains traction, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. But like speaking of your equipment though, what camera or cameras do you use, and what video editing software do you use, and stuff like that? You know, like
Yeah.
not and stuff like that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, so I started out on a Canon 5D Mark II, which I've still got somewhere over there. I've got basically I've got like a place with all my equipment over that side of my office, but it's I basically had my 5D Mark II for a very long time, and then only recently when I started MDC, I got a new Sony. I think it's the one that this camera is here, right here. It's the Sony A7R III, and that is just a solid photo and video driver. So it really does sort of like, this is like the perfect all round camera for photo and video. So that's the one I shoot on today, but I still do use the 5D if I ever need to,
Yeah.
like, have, sometimes on a shoot you might need two cameras, and that's to basically save time on swapping lenses. So rather than actually changing the lens itself, you just take the other camera with that lens already on, and then you have that camera with that lens already on. But with regards to doing Instagram and the social media side of things, nothing really needs to be that quick. So it's just this camera here, the Sony A7R3, and then lens wise, I started by using the 150 to 600 millimeter, which is an absolutely ginormous lens. I mean, I should be able to grab it here.
Oh, you froze. Oh, never mind.
There we go.
Oh wow.
So this is it at 150, but this that would be it at 600 mil, and
Wait,
it's
so
just
is that just the lens alone?
yeah. There's no camera on the back
Oh
of that,
my
so
goodness.
yeah. So it's a huge piece of kit, and I mean, two things. It does my back in carrying it around the theme parks in a backpack, but also it's not really all that necessary. Like now, I primarily use a 70 to 200 lens, which is not too much different in size, but it's it is a bit different in size, obviously, but it just allows for more diverse shots and things like that. So I'd definitely say like a good lens, a really, really essential lens is something like a 70 to 300 millimeter for like capturing roller coasters and stuff like that, because you can just get really tight and close up shots.
Yeah.
And with regards to editing software, I use the Adobe suite. So for photos, I put all my photos through Lightroom, and for videos, I use Premiere Pro, and occasionally bits and bobs in Photoshop. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for telling us about that. Can I ask you some questions about Merlin? Well, just about Merlin, like some of the work you've been doing for not the parks, but actually Merlin themselves, because I believe there was some social media. It's social media stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Merlin Annual Pass, there's two sides to the stuff I do with Merlin Annual Pass, because I occasionally do some like graphical stuff with them, which are like some of the graphical social media assets and stuff like that.
So would that be stuff like this? Oh, it's just ending.
Yeah, bits and bobs like that. Just like basically things like that. Like just like the images that support a post, really. That's sort of like what it is behind them. But the things like earlier in the year they had the First for 2021 sort of campaign, and epic moments and things like that, and just those sorts of graphics. And then the other side with Merlin Annual Pass is the collaborator side, and the Merlin collaborator side is more so ThrillRiders side of it, effectively.
Okay, so like the social media stuff would be under Marcus Dilo Creative, and then I get it. So did you also make this as well? I'm guessing it's just everything that you see on their Twitter.
Oh, so the video side of it is done by Kieran. Yeah, Kieran Adams. But yeah.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Do you ever get any involvement with the videos or not?
Not with Merlin Annual Pass, no. Kieran does a great job at that anyway. So yeah, that Map is Back video is really cool. So yeah, I mean, I just sort of do the still stuff with them basically.
Like that is just the picture that I'm looking at it now, and it's just, how long have you been doing it with Merlin? How long have you been doing this with them?
Um, well, I mean, like it's been bits and bobs for years, really. I just like it started out like it must be like 2 years ago now, when I first had contact with Merlin Annual Pass, and they wanted to do like a pop badge. What was it? It was like a pop badge mystery bag or something along those lines, and um, I created the assets for that for
Okay.
social media, and
Ah,
um, and then yeah, it's just sort of been an ongoing sort of conversation, really. And now it helps a lot more having my own company to do things like that, I guess. So yeah, I just to clarify as well, I don't make the key visual, which is their sort of like orb. So like the the graphic with the pass in the middle, and you've got all the attractions around it and stuff.
yeah.
That's classed as the key visual, and
Okay.
that, yeah, that's not made by me. That is super cool. That graphic, but yeah, everything else is like it's really cool. Just sort of like getting to move all these assets around and stuff. Yeah.
Right, I have one more question before we finish off. Thrill Riders again. I've done this in a really weird order. Are you happy with where it started and where it's ended up?
Oh, couldn't be happier. I it didn't start to be what it's become, but I what it's become is like my dream really, because I just wanted to share something I was passionate about online, and with hopefully with people that were also passionate about it, and I'm just glad that that's worked in a I guess people are passionate about it, so it's just been amazing to talk to like-minded people, really, like even like this, like coming on like your podcast, Callum. It's like it's just I love the whole community aspect of it. um
Yeah.
that's the main thing about it for me. So yeah, Bill Riders is just really it's where I share my photography, but it's become more so about just interacting with the community, and it just becoming this way to talk to new people, I guess.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know why I said okay. Sorry, I'm going all weird again. I lied. That wasn't my last question. This is my last question. Where did you think of the name Thrill Riders?
Bill Riders. It was so I was I when I made the Instagram account, I sort of made a whole list of account names that were available that I liked, and yeah, Thrill Riders is just the one that seemed to roll off the tongue best out of the list. I think it just stood out nice. Um, it's not a very exciting story, but
Fair enough.
I I think it's also that I made the logo before even deciding on the name, the sort of TR sort of thing. So I knew roughly what I wanted. It's just that's sort of what I landed on, and I think it's one that's quite memorable. So there we
Yeah.
go. That's how it came about, really.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're gonna shoot me because I'm gonna just ask another question. Last one, I
Go on.
promise. Do you remember any of the names from the list? Or do you know if any of them got taken in the end?
I can't really remember any of the other ones. I think
Fair
there
enough.
was. I think they were all quite long, to be honest. I think they had something like. It would be very similar names. It would be like Thrill Photography or things along those lines. But then the username's becoming super long. So I knew I wanted the username to be quite short. I knew I wanted it not to have any dots or underscores in it. I just wanted it to be the name itself. So that's just how I landed on it. That's just the process I went through. I think I'm pretty sure Thrill Photography was up there. Other than that,
Did it come close with ThrillRiders?
close. Yeah, it probably would have been like Thrill. There would have been other ones that were shorter as well, like Thrill Hicks or something. It was sort of like those sorts of names. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, ThrillRiders was the one that stood out the most, really. So, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with going with ThrillRiders. I can't even say it. What? I'm happy. I'm happy. I went with ThrillRiders in the end because it's nice. Sounds
It's a
nice, I guess.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Righty. Thank you so much, Marcus, for your time. All of Marcus's links will be in the description. Go check him out. Really, really cool person. I don't know. That was just the word.
Well, thank you very much.
Sorry.
That's very kind of you.
Oh dear. Thanks so much, Marcus, for your time. And have a great day. See you
Thanks
soon.
so much. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course. Okay. I'm going.